I'm all about UFO sightings, and I thought this was a really well compiled doc. It was great to have the source documents and texts, things from the time to really place us at that moment in history and give some context to it as well. Um, and it made it ultimately that much more believable too. There's such a vibrancy around the mystery of these sightings. What is real, what is not, and I think they kept the pacing up, which really helped to drive that anticipation in the mystery of it all. And it just felt very like clean and evolved organically. There was nothing choppy about it at all. And I thought the score in the background really helped aid the movement of the piece as well.
Are UFOs real? I like how we're meant to believe this and just kind of going through all the archival footage and pictures. It looked very good in the short, especially with the narrator basically, telling us the story of the trends. I think just anything to do with UFOs or things like that, like might be real, but we're not sure. I think it's always a very interesting conversation to have and seeing, you know, are the people who claim to see them, are they crying wolf or did they really see it? Because a lot of it's a very interesting human study where it's like seeing is believing. And I feel like usually that has to do with like Santa. But like for stuff like the UFO and whatnot, it absolutely has to do with that. So I think overall this was very interesting.
Fascinating piece, as these UFO sighting stories always tend to be, at least for me, and I think a large uh, group of the population. We just enjoy these kind of stories, the amazement, the awe, the inspiration, and it's even more topical than ever. The search for extraterrestrial life and the sightings and reports we've been hearing as of late. It's just really exciting, and this is a really exciting time in that space. And so, seeing a short like this sort of just adds to the conversation.
I love the black and white footage. I thought you had a lot of great black and white footage. It was very interesting. I'm always fascinated by, UFOs and what people think, if they're real or not real, or if you've experienced one or thought you have. So just very cool and interesting to watch. I thought it could be a series and I wanted to see more. But it was interesting to me that it was one of the few UFO sightings that rings true, and it was, I think, 1950. So
part of like what I did find so interesting was the fact that like there were so many UFO sightings during that kind of era, during that time frame. And I think that like we all hear about like Area 51 because it's become kind of this like joke. It's talked about a lot in movies. It's talked about a lot in like making fun of conspiracy theorists or like using that as a prime example of like what a conspiracy theorist is. And so I think that a lot of the time, because of all of those things, A, we only really hear about Area 51, and B, like it kind of makes all of the, the UFO sightings kind of get painted in that same kind of color. Seeing the fact that like they did have people look into the photographs and they did have people, that were experts in their fields and things like that. And, seeing this other side of it for a UFO sighting that I'd never heard about before. But again, it was around that same time, just made me realize how, many UFO sightings happened around that time. Because like I said, I'd only rarely ever heard about the Area 51, and that was just tangentially. That was like, like I said, like through, other realms, like through movies and things like that, where it just got referenced. So I thought it was really, really fascinating to watch. I thought it was really informative, and it shed an interesting perspective.
This was a really done short documentary. I liked the voiceover for it. It was very informative. I think the filmmakers did a fantastic job with all of the old footage, the photographs that they went ahead and they put into this. It gave you a lot of information in under 5 minutes, which I thought was fantastic.